It's a bit overcast today. There's just not a lot of light, but we're gonna work with it. I'm gonna be packaging prints today for my show that's in just 2 weeks. We've got the new prints right here, and some of these are new images that I haven't previously had in print form, so that's very exciting. These are from finerworks.com, who I continue to be impressed with. I really wanted to buy cardboard backs for these because they are in a protective sleeve, but I wanted something that was a little stiffer to make sure that they stayed protected. But that's not something I could afford this show, so next time around I'll be really excited to be able to do that. I think it's difficult just with any new thing. It can be hard to just be where you are sometimes, especially if you've spent so many years dreaming about where you want to be, or you have these goals, deadlines, expectations for yourself. But you really have to get there one step at a time, and there's no way around that. Maybe people find shortcuts, and that is great if you can skip a few steps. But if you can't, that's okay. You're still getting there. Maybe you'll take the scenic route. But I just think back when people started asking me for prints, and it was not doable for me at all. And my plan is to sell enough to be able to buy a printer and print on demand. That's another step I haven't gotten to yet, but being able to order them and have them available at all is very, very exciting for me. And it shows huge growth for my business. Something that has been very important to me over the years is quality. I have always known that I wanted to sell products that I stood behind and that I was proud to have my name on. So with stickers, prints, or cards, I have tried some, ordered some from businesses that were not good quality, and the margins were higher. I would make a lot more money, sometimes double the money, buying cheaper products. But that just wasn't what I set out to do. I think making things affordable is really wonderful. Oh man, God, that's pretty. I love that. It's so hard with the glare, but that's the jar. I love that so much. Anyway, what I was saying, I just have known what kinds of products I've wanted to create and sell and make available. And that has slowed me down a little bit too, because like I said, for a long time, I got lots of sample prints and they just weren't the quality that I wanted. And I knew I wanted to wait until I could get prints that I felt would last and looked good. I wanted to make sure they weren't going to fade or fall apart, because art is such a beautiful and life-giving thing, and I have art in my home from other artists. I want somebody to be able to buy almost like an emotional battery, something that can be a constant source of happiness or pleasantness, whatever they felt when they first saw it, that they can look at it and maybe smile or feel a little better, or it reminds them of something wonderful. It's really important to me that that's on paper that looks nice and is going to last. I have always loved clerical work. I have always loved repetitive work. So preparing for my shows like this, it's so meditative to me. Taking each print, putting it in a sleeve, stacking them, preparing them, reviewing them. It feels really good. It feels like I'm building something, and there's always the memories I get of when I just started, or the times I tried to get prints and they didn't turn out. So to have something that I feel like I have mastered, I know where to order prints and I know they're going to look good and be good quality. That's really exciting for me, and then I can feel like I can move on to my next challenge. It takes me a long time to get used to change, especially pleasant change. I'll still wake up sometimes with some default worries that I had from my old work or my old priorities. And I'll have to remind myself that things are different now. Today is different. There was a couple weeks there where I would wake up in a panic thinking I was late for work. Then I'd remind myself, you get to wake up with the sun now. You get to, I've always been an early riser, but it is really wonderful to just wake up with the sunshine and just take a deep breath and lay in bed for a minute and think about how great the day's gonna be, as opposed to rushing off somewhere else to work on someone else's dream. I much prefer to work on my own. I'm not against working on other people's dreams. I've done it for a long time. I don't think I'd ever not do it again, but it's definitely better to work on my own. I think it is really interesting how when you embark on something that is your dream, it's really hard for other people to understand or really take you seriously when you say it's important to you. I get asked constantly, are you still painting? Which to me is a funny question, because I know that I would never stop painting. It's everything, it's my whole life. But I think people are used to getting to a point in life or becoming a certain age and choosing things over your dreams or giving up on them for a lot of reasons. And I think it's just not very common for people to choose to or be able to keep pursuing that. So people are really shocked when I do say that I am still painting. And some people, yeah, they're really rude about it and they'll ask, when are you gonna get a real job? Quite seriously, they will ask that. But I'd say for the most part, people are just curious and confused because it's not really common. I think most people, it's almost you're expected to give up things that are important to you, and that it's some kind of sign of maturity or giving in. I'm not really sure, but everyone seems surprised when I tell them I'm still at it. But that's okay, because it's something I really love and I want to share it with people, but it's not going to be for everyone. Not everyone will understand. That isn't crucial to me continuing to do it. So it's really interesting being in this stage of my dream of having an art career, because I hear a lot about people who have made it, and in my opinion, that's having a somewhat consistent or stable income. I don't have really wild goals for income, just something comfortable, and people who've kind of gotten into the swing of it and know what they're doing. So I feel like there's people who are just starting out and have no idea, and then people who have gotten to a point where they're fairly stable and in a routine, and I don't hear from a lot of people in between. And I can understand why, because you may feel like, how could I talk about this when I don't know anything about it? I don't know what I'm doing. But I like to share my experience when I can, because, you know, at one point getting prints was really scary and frustrating to me. And now that I know how to do that, I figure, well, I could at least teach somebody, you know, how to do that step and then go to the next step from there. So I do see some people talking about this in-between stage, which I really love. You know, you're going to your first shows, you're selling your first work, and it's all very new. But other people's advice, experiences have helped me so much. So even though I would love to be able to get on here and just say, here's how I made it, and here's everything I figured out, I'm not there yet, but I can tell you that so far, it's going great, in the sense that I'm doing what I love and I'm doing my best and it's moving forwards. It's just a little bit at a time, but still going forward. So if you're in this weird in-between spot too, where you don't know what you're doing, but you're trying, you can do it. And just keep going. Look at that, I had one bag left. Just perfect. But it's okay because after the show, after I sell these, I'll be able to buy a bunch more bags. My dream one day is to get a kitchen with a light countertop and nice natural light so that I can film just in my kitchen. That'll be so nice.